Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. We're halfway into this week. It is Wednesday morning, and I have a few thoughts from a few teachers to share with you this morning. The first one is Bessel from Kolk. The next one is Stephen Batchelor, and then Viktor Frankl. Probably Viktor Frankl's most famous quote. And it tells a story of how we get to Viktor Frankl's wisdom, how we get to the place of spaciousness that he speaks about. Just before I dive into this, the reminder is to make your journey as much of an inner journey as possible and have as little external distractions as you possibly can. It's also always a great idea to have your space as dark as possible. And if you're doing this not early in the morning or not late at night and it's already really light outside, maybe you want to have a sleeping mask and just create as much darkness for yourself as possible so you're not disturbed by anything outside. And then earphones as well. Earphones are a great way of making sure little outside distraction, more internal experience. Maggie, very good morning. It is awesome seeing you. Hello. We are ready to dive into today's work. Right, the first thought comes from Bessel from Kolk. Let me read you quite a piece. What does Bessel from Kolk have to say? Somebody, good morning. It is good seeing you there. Here we go. Bessel from Kolk says, body awareness puts us in touch with our inner world, the landscape of our organism. And by body awareness, he means bringing to our attention what it is that our body is experiencing, what it is that our body is feeling. That kind of body awareness puts us in touch with our inner world, which is the landscape of our organism. Simply noticing our annoyance or nervousness or anxiety immediately helps us shift our perspective and opens up new options other than our automatic habitual reactions. Mindfulness puts us in touch with the transitory nature of our feelings and perceptions. When we pay focused attention to our bodily sensations, we can recognize the ebb and flow of our emotions, and with that increase our control over them. Recognizing that there is an ebb and flow in our emotions. The other two thoughts, and I'll string them all together in a moment. The other two thoughts is from Stephen Batchelor. He says, meditation is about embracing what is happening to this organism as it touches its environment in this moment. And Viktor Frankl says that in between stimulus and response, there is that space. There is a spaciousness. And in this space lies our choice, and in this space lies our freedom. Ilse, good morning. It's awesome seeing you there. Right, so a quick thought. There's a part of us that is an eternal constant, and then there are parts of us that we experience almost like the weather, an ebb and flow of emotions, thoughts and narratives that come and go on a rotation. Bessel from Kolk speaks about how bringing our awareness to what our body is experiencing can open us up to the realization that we have freedom to choose a different response than the old one we have always almost instinctively reacted to. Being able to take a step back and look at what my body is experiencing, and even being able to describe to myself, how does this feel in my body? This means I'm not being consumed by the experience. I'm not being consumed by the annoyance or the nervousness or the anxiety. And if I'm not being the anger or whatever the emotion might be, if I'm not being the anger, then I am the observer of the anger. And when I'm being this eternal constant, when I'm being this observer, I am the eternal constant that can hold all of this without being a victim to any of it. And that brings us into the space that Viktor Frankl speaks about, that space between stimulus and response. And in that space, there's freedom to choose. I think the other way that Viktor Frankl put it was that the last freedom, the final human freedom, is the ability to choose our attitude in any given situation. Beautiful work. So how do I find that I am not the clouds that flow in and out? I am not the weather that is transitory. Well, I find that by realizing I am the mountain. I'm the mountain that is immovable. I'm the mountain that is a constant. And that is our practice today. I am the mountain. Another very good morning. It is good to see you there. Just in time, we are ready to float away. You can close your eyes and let's take the first few big breaths together, starting with the first ones. Deep breath in and out. A deep breath in and out. A deep inhale. And let it go. Deep breath in and out. One more big breath in and let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, feel yourself grow, feel yourself expand from your core outwards. And once you've reached your full height, then let all of it go. With every exhale, soften. With every inhale, grow. And with every exhale, soften. Soften your spine, slump down your shoulders and drop your head. There's a part of us that is immovable, that feels like permanence. But it's rather deep, and it tends to be not the part that we're so in touch with. And then there are parts of us, parts of what we experience that feel a lot more transitory. Flowing in and flowing out. And as you continue your own full body breathing, rising with every inhale, falling with every exhale, Take a moment to remind yourself, are some of these ebbs and flows of the things we experience? So many ancient teachers have said this is like the weather. Clouds flow in and flow out. Rain flows in and flows out. The sun rises, the sun falls. On a daily basis, we have many emotional experiences that flow in and flow out in this way. But imagine for a moment being the mountain underneath all of this changing weather. The mountain that is the observer of what is transitory, what flows in and also flows out. How would it feel to sit as that mountain? The eternal being that can hold this all without being a victim to any of it. No resistance at all to what flows in. Because what is let in without resistance will effortlessly also flow out. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch and adjust and settle down. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward. And roll out your neck muscles forward and to the left, and forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. Give your upper body and spine whatever movement it feels like having right now. Move your back muscles. The reminder is that every time you stop and move your spine, you're also moving spinal fluid up and down your spinal cord, waking up your nervous system and switching on your brain. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened into a space of presence as much as we can do right now, we'll turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, this would be a great place to stop. And if you're here for the whole journey, with every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a long and slow exhale. Let's take a deep breath in. And hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body, and as you do, invite softness in. Invite softness into every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow. As you exhale, feel your shoulders dropping. Feel your body softening. Feel how you are slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey within. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath, but hold it for just as long as it feels really comfortable, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. big breath as you dive deep into you, remind yourself that you're sitting as a mountain, eternal, seeing it all come and seeing most of it go. Take your next big breath. I love to have fun with the first part of the meditation. We'll create as much of a visualization as we can of this mountain, seeing as much detail of it as we can. This is helpful because the more you can get into your imagery in your mind, into your visualization, the lower your brain waves come down. With your next big breath as you dive deep into you, fly around your mountain and see it from top to bottom. How much vegetation is on your mountain and how much of it is rocky? What would the mix be? More vegetation or more rocks? Take your next big breath. Have as much fun as you can with your visualization. The more you get into it, the more your subconscious will benefit from it. Take a closer look at the plants of your mountain. Can you identify what plants grow there? Can you zoom in enough to see the detail on the leaves of these plants on your mountain? Take your next big breath. With your next big breath as you dive deep into you, take a look at the animals on your mountain. Find some of them and zoom in How much detail can you discover on some or one of the animals on your mountain? Can you zoom in enough to get a detailed look at the hair? Take your next big breath. And then take a good look at the birds of your mountain. Find some of them or one of them and zoom all the way in. Are you able to get close enough to study the detail of the feathers on one of these birds? Take your next big breath. Bring yourself back to just be the mountain. Sit as this mountain and feel the sun warming your surface. But feel all of it. Allow it to be felt. What does your mountain feel about? The warm rays of sunshine on its skin. Take your next big breath. And if clouds do roll in, and block out the sun, and the weather changes, and it starts to rain, your mountain feels drops turning into rivulets running down its surface. Allow it all to be felt, from the sun disappearing to rain falling. How does your mountain feel about this change in weather? How does your mountain feel about sitting in the rain? Take your next big breath. When the sun goes down and it turns completely dark and the wind picks up and rain turns into a storm, the face of your mountain is lashed by wind and rain. There is no light except for the occasional lightning strike and thunder echoing all around. Gusts of wind lashing the surface of your mountain. Feel this storm. Allow every bit of it to be felt. How does your mountain feel about sitting in the storm? Take your next big breath. No storm lasts forever, and a new day always breaks. The air smells fresh as the first rays of sunlight touches the face of your mountain. How does your mountain feel about the smell of a fresh new day? About the first rays of sunlight caressing its face? Take your next big breath. We'll take one more big breath together to slip out of the breath-holding space and into the next. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back or lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. Viktor Frankl's words have been around for a long time. In the space between stimulus and response, there is a space. In this space lies our choice, and in this space lies our freedom. When there is a stimulus, whether it's from inside or with outside, whether it's an experience we're having or something someone else says or does, we can have a bit of space. We don't have to react instantly. We can take some time and figure out what our response could be. The thing is that that space does not always exist automatically. It is not always a given. In a highly activated survival nervous system, having lived in a survival state for a long time could mean that there's just no space. How do we get to that space that Viktor Frankl speaks about? And it is this journey. I'll share with you again the words from Bessel from the Kolk. He says, body awareness, in other words, placing our awareness on what the body is experiencing. Body awareness puts us in touch with our inner world, the landscape of our organism. Simply noticing our annoyance or nervousness or anxiety immediately helps us shift our perspective and opens up new options other than old, automatic, habitual reactions. Mindfulness puts us in touch with the transitory nature of our feelings and perceptions. When we pay focused attention to our bodily sensations, then we can recognize the ebb and flow of our emotions, and with that, we can increase our control over them. Adding to that, Stephen Batchelor said, meditation is about embracing what is happening to this organism as it touches its environment in this moment. I can be swept up in the ebb and flow. I could be swept up in every weather system that flows in and be captured by it and flung around as a part of it. Or I can realize that if I take a step back and be the observer of the weather that flows in, then I will also be the observer of the weather as it flows out. I can be the mountain. I can be the eternal being with the capacity to hold all of this without being a victim to any of it. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for discovering the mountain in me. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning that if I don't want to be a victim to the changing weather, then I first have to be okay to just experience the weather. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning that if I want to find a new response to the old weather, I first have to allow myself to feel the rain and be okay with it. To feel the storm and be okay with it before I can get to choose a different response. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for getting better at practicing being the mountain, being the eternal being that can hold it all without being a victim to any of it. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Hey Pat, good morning. It's good to have you here. Lorraine, good morning. It's good to see you. Joey popped in. Good morning, Joey. Lynn popped in. Good morning, Lynn. Hope you're able to sit down and meditate with us. Thank you, Ilza. I love it. The storm will pass. Yes. The sun will shine again. Yes. And it's something we can start trusting. When we become better at observing it happening, it becomes more natural to trust that it's okay, it'll happen again. If the next storm flows in, the trust becomes deeper. But yes, it'll pass and the sun will shine again. Thank you, somebody. Thank you, Nella. It's always good seeing you here. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Carry that mountain with you. I'll see you again soon. Ciao, ciao.